The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my pleasure and honor now to recognize for 3 minutes the ranking member of the Committee on Homeland Security and my good friend, Mr. John Katko from New York.
The gentleman from New York is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in strong support of the Homeland Security legislation being considered on the floor today. Specifically, I would like to acknowledge the two Republican-led bills. First, H.R. 4209, the DHS Illicit Cross-Border Tunnel Defense Act, sponsored by my good friend and colleague, the ranking member of the Subcommittee on Intelligence and Counterterrorism, Representative Pfluger. This important piece of legislation is critical to addressing the rampant challenge of illicit cross-border tunnels used by cartels to traffic people, drugs, and other illicit commodities into the United States. Make no mistake, we must take action to address the critical crisis levels of fentanyl flowing into our communities. So far this year, Customs and Border Patrol has seized enough fentanyl to kill 2.4 billion people. Let me say that again. They've seized enough fentanyl to kill 2.4 billion people, or the entire U.S. population 7 times over. Enabling frontline law enforcement to detect and mitigate the use of these tunnels by passing this legislation is an important step we can take to secure the border. I would also like to thank my other good friend, the gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Meyer, who leads the Subcommittee on Oversight, Management, and Accountability, for introducing H.R. 4476, the Homeland Security Trade and Economic Security Council Act. The COVID-19 pandemic uncovered many weaknesses in our supply chain. The first became apparent in the early days of the pandemic when the United States struggled to get such basic things as personal protective equipment. More recently, larger issues have surfaced among multiple industries as they struggle to meet demand due to supply chain issues. These issues are so large and profound that they very much impact our national security. This measure codifies 2 recommendations made by the Homeland Security Advisory Council on how we can strengthen our nation's economic security while at the same time combating the growing influence of China on the United States economy. I commend my colleague, Representative Meyer, for introducing this bill, and I'm very proud to be a co-sponsor of this legislation. As COVID-19 has galvanized bipartisan concerns about the nation's economic security, now is the time to act. I urge my colleagues to support both of these important pieces of legislation, and I yield back the balance of my time.